Hello, true duelists. My name is Craig Fee, and welcome to the New Card Report. The video I make sometimes when there are too many new cards to cover for a regular update, and because more videos help the algorithm. Yes, there's even more new cards. Mom, get that camera, because it's time for some Sychro support. The OCGs revealed Duelist Nexus, the next core series set to be released after Cyberstorm Access, and the first set of Series 12. And it's nostalgia that's not for DM. My god. Good job to Konami. We won't see this set in the TCG until around about August of this year, but we will be getting these cards, so the hype is real. Maybe. Copium. This being the start of the new series of sets means we can expect the next set of lore cards to replace the Albaz lore, and the new cards for the Yugioh anonymous Twitter account to thirst over. So let's get into it. We've got the cover card and the support for Synchron. Up first, it's Wheel Synchron, a level 5 tuner with Monarch Vassal stats. I don't know if that'll ever be relevant, but it's something I noticed. This robotic version of the anime bike from 5Ds has 3 effects. The first will allow you to use it on field as a non-tuner for a Sychro summon, which is solid for variety, and the second lets you lock yourself into only summoning Sychro monsters for the extra deck for the rest of the turn, but doing so gets you a free normal summon of a level 4 or lower monster from your hand, which is pretty fucking strong. The last effect will allow you to banish it from the grave to target a Sychro monster you control and either reduce its level by 1 or up to 4. All of these are very solid effects. The problem is that it's a level 5 monster with no self-summoning, which, yes, means you summon it off of Junk Speeder. I get that, but that doesn't help to get to or protect the already telegraphed, vulnerable, and targeted speeder plays that Synchrons have been doing since like 2018 or 19 when that card came out. That said, if you do get this guy off speeder, it ramps those plays up to 11, being able to be a non-tuner on the board full of tuners and giving you an extra normal summon. The level flux as needed if you want to. It's a pretty damn solid card, even if it's not perfect. It's also weird looking as shit. I get it, it's the anime, it's Mr. Yusei there, but I don't like the way it looks visually regardless. That doesn't mean that I have to like it just because it's Mr. Anime Man. That's a weird fucking card art. Revolution Synchron is Baby Power Tool Dragon with big ol' anime eyes. It's cute, but is it good? Well, it's got a once per turn effect and a once per duel effect, so hopefully. The first effect lets it be used as Synchro material from the hand if used to summon a Power Tool Sychro or a level 7 or 8 Sychro Dragon, which is nice, a code talker of sorts for the main deck of Sychro. I don't hate it. And the second effect is once per duel, able to be used only if you control a level 7 or higher Sychro monster while this little guy is in the graveyard. And that will let you mill the top card of your deck to summon this card from the graveyard, but its levels become 1. That's Glow Up Bulb. Quite literally, I said out loud, that's Gub, when I first read this card, because that's just what it is. It's Gub. But for Sychro decks only, which is really what a majority of Sychro players would have wanted in general, which is pretty dope because I get to play Gub in my decks again, but it's almost better than that because it also serves as a tuner from the hand. And it's cute. God damn, this shit's pretty good. I like this support already, even just with these two not fantastic, but by no means terrible cards. I'm sure that'll continue. Copium. And because what else is Synchron used for, we've received a new alternative to Quasar and Blazar dragons. Cosmic Quasar Dragon, the cover card of the set and a damn cool looking one at that. This is exactly like its brothers in Sychro, having 4,000 attack and defense and needing a Sychro tuner and 2 or more non-tuner Sychro monsters to summon it. This one's a little funkier though, with 2 effects. The first will target face-up cards on the field up to the number of materials used for its Sychro summon and negate their effects. But it gets a little better than that because this effect and its activation cannot be negated. So if it goes off, you're negating the opponent's cards. Not too shabby. But I'll get more into that in a minute. Its second effect is a tag out one, letting you banish this Synchro summoned card from the field to summon a Synchro monster from your extra deck that requires a Synchro tuner and 2 or more non-tuner Synchros, treating it as a Synchro summon. Which means you get to bring out Quasar, Blazar, and Stardust Siffer, one of the 3. So it negates and it replaces itself. My issue with the negates is that while it's a pretty cool and even powerful negate with a minimum of 3 cards being negated that cannot be responded to, you also need to get to a point where you've made a Synchro tuner and 2 non-tuner Synchros to get to this. There's been a lot of opportunities to be disrupted and, you know, interrupted by the cards you're wanting to negate. That's my issue there. And then the tag out one is nifty if you ignore the fact that Sychro and Synchron extra deck are just tight as hell. There's not much wiggle room in these extra deck slots for Synchron decks. And what is the real benefit of tagging into Quasar or Siffer? Like, sure, there's a benefit to tagging into Blazar Dragon, but alternatively, consider maybe possibly just summon Blazar. There's no need to tag into it. It doesn't... Look, it looks cool as shit, but it ain't anything special in my eyes. It doesn't even let Quasar do 2 attacks, since that requires, you know, the number of non-tuner Synchro materials for Quasar to attack twice. So it's like, it's only good to get into Blazar, and it's not even really good for that, because you could just go into Blazar. Thank God it looks cool, though, because we're moving on. No. Gross. Disappointing. Go. Moving on, we have the Crimson Dragon. That's right, folks, the Crimson Dragon, the one that time travels when it's convenient, gets a card. Because Tzolk'in's from the manga, I don't know. And I don't really care, if I'm being honest. This one is literally named the Crimson Dragon in the OCG, though, so I'm going to go ahead and call it the Crimson Dragon. It's another level 12 Synchro, but it just needs any tuner and any 1 or more non-tuners, making it a little easier to summon. It has 2 effects, with a fat once per turn on each. The first effect activates on summon to add a spell or trap from your deck to your hand that mentions the Crimson Dragon in its text, which is only going to be as good as the things it can search out, so we'll cover those in a bit. And the second effect lets you quick effects target a level 7 or higher Synchro monster on the field, and then you'll return the Crimson Dragon here to the extra deck and summon a Dragon Synchro monster from your extra deck with the same level as the targeted monster, treating it as a Synchro summon. So, nifty, but kind of weird. Why are all the new Synchro Dragons just yeeting themselves off the field to bring out something else? Like they're quick effects, and they Synchro summon, so it's not the worst version of these effects possible, but it's like, why? Why? I don't understand why. On the upside, you can get out a Crystal Wing easier if the opponent has like a Borreload Savage, or you already have a Borreload and don't want to go through the extra step to make Crystal Wing copium. But maybe I'm wrong. You know, I've seen some videos going on about bringing out the level 12 Super Crimson Nova, and then this card, and then Crimson Dragon tags into the Red Dragon Archery King Calamity, so the opponent just doesn't get to fucking play Yu-Gi-Oh, which is so cool to see. I love that level of innovation of gameplay, is just stop and not letting your opponent do anything. It's just really, really interesting to see from Konami in terms of card design. But outside of that, why? Why would you do this? And as always, even that combo required Junk Speeder to go off. So it's like, yeah, you can do crazy shit with Junk Speeder. That's not helping protect Junk Speeder like could be useful for Synchro support. But what do I know? Synchro Overtop is a normal spell card with card art that is rightfully being compared to this image of Mr. Krabs, because clearly. It also is a pretty clear showcase as to why it is they decided to errata and limit Ancient Fairy Dragon, so there's that too. This card will target any number of level 7 or 8 Synchro Dragons in your graveyard and summon them in defense position with their effects negated, but their levels become 1 and you're locked into only Synchro summoning for the extra deck for the turn. An anime reference Soul Charge, if I'm not mistaken. Why not? It also has a grave effect to banish itself when a Synchro Dragon is destroyed by battle and summon out the Crimson Dragon for free, but not as a Synchro summon. So it is searchable off the Crimson Dragon, so it's a searchable anime reference soul charge of sorts. And I could be wrong here, but this seems too forced to really be good in terms of needing a bunch of dead dragons already in your graveyard to summon off and meaningfully plus off of, and needing the battle phase interaction with the opponent to cheat out a monster that by itself doesn't really do anything. So, I mean, it'll search something maybe, but that seems like a long-ass walk for a very short sip of water. So, maybe I'm wrong. I'm sure it'll be used in something degenerately, but whether that degenerate thing be good, not outside of YouTube is my bet. Let's see what else we've got. A field spell. That's what else we have. With the Abomination Synchron Yusei on the card art. Cool. And it uses counters. This thing is going to be so shit. Yes, it'll gain 2 signal counters on it each time a card is synchro summoned, and you can remove some number of them to get one of 3 effects. Removing 4 counters will let you increase or decrease a monster you control's level by 1, which is cute. Removing 7 will let you revive a tuner from your graveyard, which is actually pretty decent, and removing 10 will let you revive a synchro monster from your graveyard, which hilariously feels less useful than reviving a tuner to me. Oh, and also, if it's destroyed by an opponent's card or effect, you can cheat out the Crimson Dragon. So yeah, this thing seems weak as shit. You get to revive a tuner. Just summon out 4 synchro monsters first. That's cool. Is that hard? I mean, not really for Synchron, no, but if you're already at the point where you're getting 4 synchros out, the deck hasn't struggled to get more tuners and synchros on board. It's not like we're desperately dying for graveyard revival of tuners, at least not as I understand it from playing the deck a limited amount. I'm just saying it's pretty underwhelming to me. Like the 5th synchro summon was going to be the thing that pushed this deck into truly tiered relevance in 2023. I don't think so. But as the joke goes, if I had a nickel for every underwhelming field spell Synchron got as a deck, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. And the last card revealed from Duelist Nexus was the normal trap card Scrap Iron Idol, the 3rd in the Scrap Iron trap card saga. This card summons a level 7 or 8 Synchro Dragon from your graveyard or banished pile on activation, but will return the revived dragon to the extra deck at the end phase, and then, like all the other Scrap Iron traps, will set itself on the field after use. And like any other back row revealed today, on destruction, it cheats out the Crimson Dragon, so it floats at least. This one seems to me to be the most usable out of the 3. If you used Stardust as part of the Synchro climbing and it's still in your graveyard, you can revive Stardust and then have it to help pad out your end board, which is just the simplest, most brain-dead, easiest. Yeah, you could do that with this card. You can probably go much farther. There are quick effect synchros, effects, Formula Synchron's a card. Who knows what you can bring out on the opponent's turn? Shout out to Satellite Warrior. But still, there's a lot more potential with this one than with the other 2. It sucks that whatever it summons out goes to the extra deck at the end phase by itself, but like I said, there's plays to make. So yeah, it's good and pretty much exactly a one-of for some Wombo Combo Flex spot. And that's the cards revealed from Duelist Nexus. As for what I think of them, Wheel Synchron makes Junk Speeder even crazier in terms of potential, and Revolution Synchron, serving as a substitute Gub, will certainly be abusable and appreciated by Synchron players. But other than those 2, a little underwhelming if you ask me. The Crimson Dragon has some amount of potential that maybe I'm just downplaying here. I ain't perfect, I ain't gonna lie. But the new Quasar that's only good going 2nd, but not even to help you OTK, and some weird spell and traps that feel more like you can roleplay the anime than they do help out the deck in practice, don't really appeal to me. So that's my take. I'd love to be wrong. Let me know what you think down there in the comments. And we also had 2 cards revealed from a promo set in Japan. And while I'm not sure what the promo is exactly, it doesn't matter because you won't be getting it in the TCG. These will just be imported in some random set. So tell me I'm wrong. Up first is Elemental Hero Flame Wingman Infernal Rage. What a mouthful. A level 8 Wind Warrior with the same 2100 attack and 1200 defense as the OG Flame Wingman. Its materials to summon are any 2 hero monsters with different attributes, and it has 2 effects. The first will let you add 1 favorite card from your deck or graveyard to the hand, and the second is only usable if you used a normal monster as one of its fusion materials. But if you do, you'll get the ability to tribute this guy to summon out a level 7 or lower elemental hero monster that cannot be normal summoned or set from your main or extra deck. Yes, a way to summon elemental hero Neo Bubble Man, or something playable instead, whichever you'd prefer. Cool. Looks neat. It exists. Do with it what you will. And the last card for today is the Link 1 Link Decoder. It is a down arrow, it has 300 attack, and its materials to summon are any level 4 or lower Cyberse monster, so it's pretty splashable. Its only effect is that if it is used as the Link material for the Link summon of a Cyberse monster with exactly 2300 attack, you can revive it from the graveyard, and it'll be banished when it leaves the field. So, that's not terrible, that's not great. I've been told this is underwhelming in Code Talkers. Couldn't tell you how true or not that is. It could be played in, at Ignister. They've got a 2300 attack Link Cyberse. You could play it in Soul Control maybe. I don't know. It doesn't seem like a bad effect. From what I've gathered, Cyberse has enough means to Link spam that this isn't necessary, but that doesn't mean that it's bad. It's just not necessary. Isn't that the theme of today's entire video? Who the fuck designed all this? As always, shoutouts today will go to the sponsor of my video, the LIFD Magnetic Display. This is a fantastic and safe way to protect and display your cards, and quite simply, a pretty solid way to support the channel. So if you're looking for a way to showcase some of your favorite things, looking for a way to show me a bit of support, looking for a way to own more magnets, here you go. What great joke, great bit. If you want to go ahead and save yourself 15% off, you can apply code YGOStrats15 at the checkout, or you can get that applied to your card automatically by clicking the link in the description of this video. Thank you to LIFD for the support, and thanks to you for watching. And so that'll wrap it up for this week's new card report. Just covering the new cards in this one. The regular update will be out on a Friday as usual. Until then, I've been your host, Craig Fee, and make sure you subscribe to Yugioh Strats for next week's update to impress your smokin' Italian wife, and so you too can be a true duelist.